Hi there, welcome back. Sydney Brown here, the Memoir Mastermind of the Writing and Publishing for Beginners channel. I am so glad that you're here, and I am excited to talk to you today about setting up a writing schedule. Now, you may ask why? Why is it important that you have a writing schedule? And let me tell you, here is exactly why. Life. You know, if you allow it, things will just drop in front of you that need to be cared for. And you being the person you are, you're going to try to take care of the things that drop in front of you, right? That's what we do, especially, anyone who has responsibilities or a family, anything like that. You're just like, man, I gotta do this first. I gotta do that. And you'll find that your goals or your dreams or your ambition, anything that you want for yourself, is something that you're going to not do and not prioritize because there's other things that need you more right then. Don't let yourself fall into that trap anymore. You've probably done it for years already. I want you to make sure that if you're doing this for you, and you're going to stick to it. You're going to set this as a special thing that is for you. Let this be your treat to yourself. It's going to be a little bit therapeutic. It should be something that you truly enjoy. And so I genuinely want you to set time aside for yourself. I want you to do it every day. There, I said it. Every day. Every day. But if you can't do it every day, that's okay. That's okay too. It's important that as you go through here, you still have your family, you still have friends, you still have jobs, you still have to, wash the car, whatever it is. You still have those things, and I totally get it. They are important. They do matter. But don't put yourself at the bottom of the list anymore. It's not time for that anymore. Now it's time for you to, maybe not at the very top of the list, but move yourself up, because in doing this project, you're creating a memoir that is going to be something for someone else. This is, even though I'm saying it's your time for you, it's actually going to be for somebody else as well. So make sure that you give yourself this time, because you have to be able to get in here, go through the reflective times, go through the process of learning and understanding, how you do this, one, how you do it well, two, and then, just doing it. So your training period, all of this stuff, try to give yourself, if you can, 30 minutes to an hour a day. Sometimes I call it finding minutes. Those minutes, if you have a phone or an iPad, might be in the bathroom. If your time is that allocated, then you may just have to steal a few minutes where you can, and that's okay too, as long as you do it. So just keep in mind, each day you put toward this, you are training as a writer. You are training just like an athlete would. You're training your body and your mind. You're keeping your senses sharp. This is a good thing for you. This is a very good thing for you. When you have a well-planned writing schedule, it can increase your productivity. It will help you meet your writing goals, and it'll help you, make the process a little less daunting, I would say. It can be overwhelming, and that's why you're doing the I Remember When project. If you're watching this, you may not be in the description. If you're not yet involved in the I Remember When project, make sure that you look in the description, and there'll be a link to how to get involved with this project. You will get additional coaching and things from me, and more hands-on stuff than just the YouTube training. But when you do this, you're basically enabling yourself to learn, to get a little more disciplined, to just really prioritize yourself. Prioritize yourself, give yourself some of that, the energy and the love that you give everybody else. So what you want to do is, grab your favorite notebook, open up a new document and whatever you use. I love Google Sheets, Google Docs, depending on how you're doing it, if you're doing research or if you're actually writing. I like doing things through the Drive because, well, I just personally do. But however you want to do it, I do find that if you are doing some therapeutic writing and reflecting, that doing it as a journal will probably be a little bit more special, more it takes more pressure off of you and allows you to just kind of let the memories fall out of you. Falling out of you is something that you'll hear me say quite a bit, and it's a good thing. So usually you don't want things to fall out of you, but when you're going through the memoir process, you do. You want all of that to just drop straight out of your mind, out of your heart, and onto your paper. So here we go. We're going to start talking about why writing or why having a writing schedule is vital. And then we're going to talk about the top 10 tips for creating an effective writing schedule. Now, if you have not already, please subscribe to the channel and make sure every video you watch, if you would, I would appreciate it if you would like it, and then put a comment below that, what you like the best or what questions you have, because this helps me be able to keep this content free. And it also helps me make sure that I'm doing videos on the things that you actually want to learn. So with that, let's go into the next section. All right, Sydney Brown back again. We are on the next section of why a writing schedule is vital. Now, there are 10 reasons here, and I would love it if you would grab your paper and let's just dig right in. Number one, consistency. Having a writing schedule encourages consistency, which is a key element to your writing skills. It's like, exercising. The more you do it on a regular basis, the stronger you become at whatever it is you're exercising. And in this case, you're exercising your writing skills. Number two, time management. It helps to manage your time effectively. When you do, you're making sure that you allocate sufficient time is what I'll say. That can be 30 minutes. It can be an hour. It can be, 2 or 3 hours, however much you decide that you're ready to dedicate. You will be able, once you chunk that time into your schedule, then it is scheduled time. It's not a distraction. It's not a guilty pleasure. It's literally something that you have scheduled. But it helps you feel more justified, and you're able to make better use of your other time because that time that you've got in your writing schedule is already taken for. Number three, productivity. So a well-structured writing schedule boosts your productivity because you know that you have this much time to get whatever your goal is done. And by doing that, you're able to sit down, dedicate your time, focus on what you're trying to do, and just make sure that you just knock it out. Number four, discipline. Now, this is something that truly I find most of my students have a real issue with, is self-discipline. If you don't have the self-discipline, you're just going to look for excuses. You may have, you may have a favorite show that you have to watch. You may have a headache. It doesn't matter, but you just look for the excuses instead of looking for the reasons to do it. When you have it in your schedule, it kind of instills self-discipline. It creates a more professional attitude toward what you're doing here. And you really want to have that professional attitude, to start rolling in, because this isn't just a hobby. This is something that can change your life, your mental, your emotional, your potentially spiritual, and potentially even financially. You need to let this be part of your daily, hopefully daily routine at any point, however many times a day you or a week you're willing to do it. Number 5, goal setting. When you have a writing schedule, it helps in setting and achieving your writing goals. Whether you're aiming for, finish this chapter, do a chapter a day, whatever your goal is, if you have your schedule set and you identify a goal, having that time set aside will help you reach your goals because you have more focus on it. Number 6, overcoming writer's block. Now, I have a certain opinion about writer's block. I find that I really don't get it too much because I'm organized and I'm disciplined. So sometimes if I'm just not feeling it, what I can do is just do some free writing or other things like that. But I get over writer's block much more quickly than some people who say, I can't write anything. I just can't. When you are disciplined and you have that time and okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to get this done. Now, sometimes being so determined might actually work the opposite way for you, but that's not the most common. Usually, when you have your time allocated, you will be able to, because sometimes, before you even sit down on your time that you've allocated, you may start getting ideas before you even get to your time window. If you do, don't trust that you'll remember it. Go write it down right then. But it does actually help people. They tell me that it helps them get over writer's block. I suspect that they just don't have writer's block because they've gained more self-discipline. Number 7, quality. Consistent writing can lead to better quality work, and it should lead to better quality work, because the more you do anything, whether you're swimming, if you're running, if you're learning a new language, whatever thing you're trying to do and you want to do better, if you practice it, it's going to get better. You're going to get better at it. So you will improve your quality as long as you keep focused and you keep filling your head and your spirit with the knowledge and the training. Number 8, deadlines. So if you're working toward a deadline, now not everyone has deadlines, especially if this is your first memoir, and you're just kind of winging it, and just getting your bearings. You may not have deadlines, but you should give yourself some deadlines. Now, if you're in the program, I remember when you should have your month over month schedule. And in that, I've kind of given you a deadline, a set of deadlines. Now you can make them much shorter deadlines so that you have to deliver faster if you choose to. I did not want to set it up for a 6-month because I want to give you ample time to really go through the reflective and really enjoy just reminiscing. I want you to really have this be the time of your life, because now you don't have to go through it again. You can just kind of reflect on it. But in that, I did put some sort of a deadline on there because I put, you've got 400 days from the day you made your purchase to get this thing turned into a book and get it turned back to me as a manuscript, and then we will get it back to you. I did put that deadline. If you can't do it in 400 days, then I haven't done my part as much as I hate to think that I would ever fail you on that. My hope is that you're committed to this. And if you are committed to this, you absolutely will get it done within 400 days. You do have a little bit of a deadline. So there is that. Number 9, work-life balance. When you designate specific time for writing, that is saying nothing else is going to get in the way of this. This is my life. This is my work. It's whatever you choose to call it, but it's this right here is for writing. But in the same breath, all this other time over here, whether it's, 5 minutes or 10 hours, this other time is not writing. So it can be whatever you want it to be. What if you have a job, if you have, a family, whatever that is, all of that other time is everything else. So you don't have to feel the pressure to write, 5 or 10 hours a day. You can just do that 30 minutes to an hour, whatever you choose to do. It really is your schedule. You make it, but don't pressure yourself either direction. Number 10, satisfaction. There is a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment just knowing that you've stuck to something that you planned. When you set a schedule, when you set a goal and you meet it, that feels good. So if you haven't had that in your life, I think you're going to enjoy it. You might feel a little unsure at first, a little maybe even just a teeny bit overwhelmed. Don't let it get to you though, because you'll realize, this isn't an overwhelming process. This is something that you've got me holding your hand. You're in the writing community. You have all of these videos, and I am going to be here to help you through this. All right. So live in and feel the satisfaction and let go of any of the frustration or the pressure. All right, we are going to move on to the next section, and I can't wait to see you there. All right, Sydney Brown back again. We are talking about the top 10 tips for creating an effective writing schedule. So number 1, understand your rhythm. Basically, you want to identify when you're most creative. You may be a morning person. The ideas may come into your mind and just like bombarding you right before you go to bed. It just depends on when you are the most creative. No matter when it is, make sure you start carrying a little notepad with you, or use your notepad on your phone or something, because you do want to always capture your ideas in real time. You won't remember them, write them down, but learn your rhythm, know who you are. Are you a morning bird? Are you a night owl? Or is the afternoon when everybody else has got the 3 p.m., nappy? Is that when you're feeling the most revved up? Whatever it is, try to schedule your writing time then if you can. Now, sometimes you just can't. You may have obligations for other things, and you may not have a choice of when you schedule your time for writing, but just get it scheduled. 2, start small. You don't want to overwhelm yourself. And I really do mean this. By small, I'm thinking, minimum of 15 minutes, ideally, 30 minutes a day. Gradually increase it if you can. If you can't, you can't. But ideally, I would like to see you doing at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. You will have days when it won't fit into your schedule, where you've got other things going on. That's okay. But just try to start small and let yourself work up over time. You'll find as you start really getting into it, you're going to want to get over there and get to, where your workstation is, and really start, letting all the things come out. Number 3, set realistic goals. You need to be aware of your capabilities. When you set unrealistic goals, and I have been, guilty of this many times in my life, it leads to disappointment because you feel like you failed and you get demotivated. Don't do that to yourself. Don't set yourself up for negative feelings or for failing, because it's not necessary. It just isn't. You've got, a whole year to do this. So set a realistic goal, and just stick to it. Number 4, consistency over quantity. Now, you definitely, this is why I promote daily if you can. If you can't, you can't. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. But if you can, daily is the way to go, because it just becomes part of, you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you go to the bathroom, you write. It's one of those things that just happens in your day now. And if you start to think of it that way, it really will help you take some of that pressure off. But when you prioritize writing regularly over writing a lot in one go, you won't burn yourself out. All right, number 5, designate a writing space. Now, if you're in a confined space, wherever you can, may be your designated space. But if you have your preference, if you have any number of places, find a specific place that you can write, and it kind of helps condition your mind to get into writing mode faster. It can be, at a desk, a dining table, at a couch with a pillow on your lap. It can be anywhere that you're comfortable, and as long as you can still be productive. Number 6, minimize distractions. And this is so tough, especially if you have, family members or coworkers that are, distracting. But try to do your best to minimize the distractions. Choose a quiet environment. Put away distractions. That's usually our worst enemy. It's not so much our family or our friends. It's our phones and our computer, our email, that notification sound that you might hear at times, that makes you look away and look at your phone for just a second. We look at our phones a lot. So try your best to minimize distractions. I put my phone on silent, and then I will also actually just, it's silent, but then I'll also turn it face down. So if something were to pop up, I won't see it. And by doing that, I don't know if someone's trying to get a hold of me, but when I'm taking a break through, every 10 or 15 minutes, I'll go grab my phone and just kind of take a glance to make sure no one 911'd me or something. So you don't have to turn your back on the world, but do your best to minimize distractions. Number 7, use tools. So when you're using scheduling tools or apps that remind you of writing time, you might do, and I do this, my Google Calendar on my desktop. It also is on my iPad and on my phones. And I actually, on my watch even, I have everywhere in my life knows that when it's time for writing, or sometimes it's time for doing videos, whenever it's time for work and creativity, then nothing is going to get in the way. Maybe a cat every now and then, which, by the way, if you hear or see a noise, it's probably a cat. Number 8, allow for flexibility. Now, life happens. It just does. And life is why we're here. So you don't want to do this and tell the rest of life to go away. That's not the point. We're not trying to do that. This is to make life better and to, kind of clear up some things in your heart and your mind that can actually give you some closure, and to share your story with other people. So this is a great thing that you're doing. So don't do to the point that you make it you take the fun out of it. Don't do that. So, allow for flexibility. If you miss a scheduled session, you're not gonna, no one's gonna hate you. I'm not gonna message you and say, hey, I noticed that you weren't in your writing area. I don't have a camera on you. I don't know what you're doing. So you don't answer to anyone but yourself. Okay. So let yourself be flexible. Let life be spontaneous and fun at times, but not all the time. Number 9, reward yourself. Celebrate your small victories, finish a chapter, celebrate something, take a break, go see a movie, do dinner with a family member or a friend, do something to celebrate that. Even if it's going to go in through revision over and over and over and over again, it doesn't matter because you did it. You got to that milestone. So celebrate it. If it's a word count, if it's a chapter, whatever it is, grab a candy bar, do whatever it is that you do to celebrate. Number 10, be patient. This is one of those times in your life that you're doing something new and very good chance you've never done this before. You're creating a new routine. You're starting a writing schedule. You're doing so much. It can get overwhelming. Don't put that pressure on you. Let this be something you look forward to. Let your schedule be something that is a treat for you. And when you're patient with yourself, you're going to find that it's easier to stick to. So remember that the goal is not to stress yourself out. It's to create the sustainable writing habit. And, just take a deep breath, breathe, take your time with this. Your words will start to flow. It may take some time. It may take some practice. Don't hesitate to drop into the writing community. Ask your question. You can go live in there, or you can just type out your question, whatever you want to do. I am here for you. We have some other ambassadors in the group who also can answer questions. So it's not 100% me. It's users helping users as well. And of course, if you leave your comments here, I will absolutely jump in and try to answer any questions here as well. I appreciate you. I'm really excited about this journey that you're getting ready to go through. Get your schedule set up. It's time. You're ready. Are you ready? I think you're ready. I think you're ready. All right. So like the video if you would, and let me know that you're subscribed. Ask any questions at all, and I will see you.